Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Kanawha Valley. We begin the service by lighting the candle and ringing the bell. By reading the opening statement. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Let's become still and let that set into your heart center. Take a deep breath in slowly and release. And let's repeat. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the good, omnipotent. Songs will be led by Ron, accompanied by Rick Poling.
Good morning. Would you please stand? We'll sing Surely the Presence. It's right inside your front cover. Please, 235.
Why
Thank you so much for sharing your talents today. I've got some announcements. So we received a letter from Covenant House thanking us for our donation. From our beginnings 43 years ago, we believe that housing, food, and health care are human rights. Now more than ever, we recommit our advocacy to fulfill our covenant that we will not rest until these basic human rights are available to every West Virginia. Thank you for your recent gift of $387.56 on February 6th. We are grateful for your generosity as it allowed us to fulfill our mission. Beautifully said. We also have after church services on Sunday. Join the Zoomers for the after party, or you can join through your phone or iPad. The book study group meets on Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Zoom. Please feel free to participate. Wonderful announcement, Ryan Kurzak and the Mudlarks are going to be playing here, yes, a traditional Irish music concert next Saturday. And it's at 4 p.m. in the sanctuary. So if you can make it, it is going to be spectacular. There's a wonderful, wonderful healing sound bath that I would like to have Nancy share some points.
It's going to be the same, but only different. To start with, we're going to tone our chakras. So basically, the vowels and the sounds that go with each chakra and explanation of the chakra, we'll learn to do that for our own self-healing. You can take it home with you. And then we'll just relax and go into the sound part of it, the healing sound. 7 p.m. Friday evening.
Thank you, Nancy. We have our prayer chaplains that can help provide a beautiful prayer. Laura Wellstead is our prayer chaplain today, so if you'd like to have a special prayer with her, see her afterwards. You can also get to know Jessica. She is doing a phenomenal job as our administrative director. So pop your head in and welcome her and introduce yourself. The Sojourner Shelter is still taking donations. Davis Shelter is asking for any suitcases, any carrying things to drop off. And if you haven't already done so, do the Kroger fundraiser, where monies that you spend at Kroger's will get paid back from the money given. So up here, there is a survey we received also online regarding the desired and for our new spiritual leader. I like paper because I'm challenged online technically. I did have trouble with getting it downloaded, so I'm sure they're working on that. And also there are copies up here if you would like to take one home. Mary Beth, would you like to say?
Thank you. You might recall that the first Sunday in February, I announced an update as to what your board was doing in our search for a new spiritual director. The advice from Unity Worldwide Ministries was that we do nothing for 3 months to allow us to adjust to our minister leaving and to get used to thinking about what we want moving forward. And so your board gave it exactly that 3 months and began the 1st of February, which marked the beginning of the 4th month, to work toward this search. We have now met with Unity Worldwide Ministries twice, and we've provided them a lot of documents. We expect by this Thursday to have information on a consultant who will come in. We were promised last week that we would get referrals for 1 to 3 consultants to choose from, and so we're very excited about that. But a big part of putting together our search is to try to know from each one of you exactly what you would like to see in your church moving forward. The survey is part of that. If you had difficulty downloading it, or if you simply prefer not to go electronically, I get that, believe me. If you prefer that route, please email or call Jessica in the office, and she will mail by U.S. Postal Service a survey to you. The deadline that we put on the survey was for next Sunday, but come on, this is just us, right? So if it comes in after the deadline, we're still going to collate that and bring it in together. So I wanted to update you on what we are doing. We are working as proactively and quickly as is possible, but we think that it is absolutely essential that everyone who wants to buy into the process has an opportunity to do so. So with that, my contact information is in the what's the word for it? The missile, the bulletin. Feel free to give me a call or an email me if you've got any questions. And I look forward to getting those responses so that we can move forward together as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'd like to introduce Laura to come up and provide the welcome.
Thank you, Beth. I just wanted to take a minute to look at everyone's beautiful faces here today. My name is Laura Wellstead, as most of you know, and I'm a board member here at UKV. The light in me greets the light in you. The after party on Zoom, there's an after party on Zoom after the service. Please zoom in from your phone if you'd like to join that conversation. And thank you for being with us today from wherever you are and from whenever you are if you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook. Unity of Kanawha Valley is a pretty unique place. It's one of the most unique places I've ever been. We come together to celebrate love and spiritual wisdom in its many forms. Many of us are committed to a practice of universal love for everyone and for everything. Unity promotes the idea that the light of God, the spirit of love, is within you. And that by practicing going within, you can discover this love, which is at the source of all light, love, and everything in the universe. And so we gather together each Sunday to affirm our connection to this love and to support each other in our unique spiritual journeys. And I do mean that each of our journeys is so unique, precious, different, varied, all the colors of the universe, all the energy of life, all that is. There's such great energy from that. It is my hope that you will know that you are welcome here just as you are, that you are free to be yourself and to believe whatever makes sense to you. While you're here, we invite you to take what works and leave the rest. And that's part of our spiritual journey, exploring ideas, gathering some into our hearts, putting some aside, maybe forever, maybe for later, who knows? Unity, for me, has meant that I have a place to express my truest self and to freely explore any and all spiritual truths. It is my home. It is my heart. It is a spiritual refuge. It is freedom, and it is connection. So if you would affirm with me, this is my heart. through it, I am connected to my neighbor, to my source, to myself. I trust it in all things. And I am grateful. So today we will be looking at the theme of the science behind affirmation of prayer with our own Janet Prince, prayer extraordinaire. She, at Unity, we haven't been doing Sunday school a whole lot, especially since COVID. So the prayer chaplain program has been my Sunday school, and Janet certainly is a wonderful leader, guide, and instructor, along with Sharon Mullins. Let's see, next week, you already heard, Ryan Kruzik's going to be here doing a performance. He's also going to be here on Sunday with the Mudlarks, bringing his music and bringing a message on the yogic way of making the mind serene. And couldn't we all use some of that? I sure could. And so now, at this part of the welcome, we usually do affirmative prayer because that's central to what we do. That's part of Unity culture. Myrtle Fillmore did so much with affirmative prayer to guide us and lead us. And I want to share with you today, if you would, and if you've got a copy of it, follow along. This is our affirmation about our new spiritual leader, director we're going to have at Unity. We want to attract that energy. We want to beam out to whoever that is that we are here, we are willing, and we are ready. So let's just take a moment and go into our hearts. The Board of Unity of Kanawha Valley and the Congregation of Unity in Kanawha Valley is now divinely guided to the right and perfect person to lead and minister to the members of this beautiful church. Our new minister is well-versed in unity principles. They serve with love. They foster an atmosphere of acceptance, which unites our community as we welcome everyone who seeks a safe place to examine spirituality. This person appears at exactly the right time and is so happy to be here. Our hearts are filled with gratitude for our new spiritual leader who anchors Unity of Kanawha Valley as a beacon of light, love, joy, and peace for generations to come. And so it is. Amen. And if you would, just take into your heart the idea that you are love. Love flows through you. And if you would stand and stretch and say hello to somebody nearby and just say something like hello.
If you would reiterate that the surveys are here.
Okay.
For people to fill them out.
Hi, buddy. So good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Let's have a seat. Again, I'd like to mention that the survey is up here to pick up a copy and share your feelings. I would like to ask, are there any first-timers here? All right. The daily word will be read by Mary Ann. Daily word? Oh, you have to, thank you. Laura's going to do the meditation.
Hey, everybody. Just to kind of wrap things up, you know, we do everything with love and a lot of things with gratitude. So I want to thank everyone for being here today and to reiterate something you've heard so many times, and it's so true. Your being here is part of the world we're creating today. We are creating our experience. We are co-creators with God. Every small thing you do today makes a difference. And I want to thank the universe, God, the source of all life and love, for another day on this incredible, amazing, confusing, loving, beautiful, varied journey. And I want to thank, in particular, everyone who has made this service possible. My fellow board members, Barbie, Mary Beth, David, Sally, Phil, our musicians, Ron and Rick, and we've had Nancy Lynn helping with music. Chris helps sometime. Are you going to hit a bongo today, Rick? There we go. Our prayer chaplains, Janet, Sally, Mary Ann, Sharon. Who was our junior bell ringer today? It was Tegan. Thank you, Tegan, for ringing our bell. And speaking of connection, our wonderful AV team, Rich is actually here in person today. He is real. Rich, Chris, Amy, Danny, they keep us connected. So I want to encourage you to spend some time in silence every day, to connect with the eternal, to connect with love, and to remind you that God is your source. The pen is in your hand, and a new day is dawning for us all. And now I am going to switch hats and be prayer chaplain and offer you a meditation. So if you would take a deep breath and become comfortable in your seat. Close your eyes if you feel safe doing that. Allow your mind and your heart to open. Allow your thoughts to still and your body to relax, releasing any tension you might feel. And take a few deep cleansing breaths while you calm and quiet any disturbing thoughts or emotions. You are centered and poised, exploring that holy place within. Any appearance of lack or chaos in your life seems distant as you feel the calm peace of your soul deep within. In this place, you are completely free. You believe in yourself. You follow your heart, guided by inner wisdom. Releasing any preconceived outcome, you are open to new possibilities, new beginnings, the manifestation of your highest and best. You are open to the fulfillment of your heart's desire, co-creating with the source of all light and love, freely welcoming your good. Your energy of quiet determination and faith sustain you in the face of contrary outward appearances. You take positive action toward your good, and step by step by step, your good multiplies. New doors of possibility open for you with each step. You feel life supporting you each moment. Gratitude flows freely in your heart. And as we leave this time of meditation, your vision for your highest and best remains clear. You are free. You are unlimited. And so it is. Amen.
Good morning. The daily word for today is wisdom. The affirmation is, wisdom guides my words and actions. When I have felt torn trying to decide which way to go or how to handle a trying situation, I may have asked in prayer for insight and guidance. As I have grown spiritually, I have come to realize that any insight and guidance I could need are within me, aspects of my divine inheritance. Divine wisdom is my ability to intuit, to sense, and to discern my best choice. I pay attention to my hunches, flashes of inspiration, and the whispers of guidance I feel in my quiet moments. I believe they are divinely inspired, even if they surprise me. In confidence and with gratitude, I move in the direction of my highest good, trusting in my innate wisdom. From Isaiah 30:21. And when you turn to the right, or when you turn to the left, your ears shall hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it.
I am be able to introduce one of our members today, a special, loving, gifted soul. I know a couple facts about Janet. My dogs love her, and she loves them. One beautiful fact. Let's welcome Janet. She's going to be speaking on the science of affirmative prayer.
Okay. Well, I hate to disappoint everybody. I do not have a cousin story today. However, I do have a story about a great uncle of mine who left the beautiful hills of West Virginia back in the gold rush days. He headed west. And you know, back at that time, there weren't truck stops all over the place, and there wasn't a McDonald's on every corner. If you were traveling, you had to eat what you brought with you, or what you could catch in the forest, or what you could fish out of the sea. So he's been traveling a few days, and he comes across this town, and there is a saloon. And by then he was tired of the food he had brought with him. He's like, I'm going in there, maybe have a glass of beer, you know. And he goes in, and it was a pretty lively place. There was a piano player playing, and people were playing cards, and he's enjoying his refreshments, and all of a sudden, in rushes this man and says, "Big Jim's a-coming!" And that place cleared out in nothing flat. My great-great-uncle didn't know what to do because he's just traveling through. He doesn't know where to go. And the next thing he knows, in rushes this 7-foot-tall, 500-pound man, so big that when he came through the door, they burst off their hinges. And he picks my great-uncle up and he says, "Give me a drink." So my great-uncle goes behind the bar, he pours a shot of whiskey, and he pours a glass of beer. And this man picked up the whiskey and threw it back and put the glass down so hard it shatters everywhere. Then he picked up the beer and he threw it back and he put it down again. The glass shatters everywhere. And my great-uncle looked at him and he's like, "Would you like another?" And the man goes, "No, Big Jim's a-coming." Okay. So today we're going to talk about affirmative prayer and science. Is there any science that backs up what we experience when we practice affirmative prayer? The very foundation of the unity movement is affirmative prayer. Myrtle Fillmore, who was sick her entire life, had been told by her doctors and her family, and she believed that she was a sick person. She was diagnosed with tuberculosis. But then she heard E.B. Wicks say, "You are a child of God. You do not inherit sickness." And Myrtle had an aha moment then. She realized that her whole life of listening to people tell her how sickly she was contributed to her being sick. She believed she had a sick body. So, believing what E.B. Wicks had said, that she was a child of God and did not inherit sickness, she asked herself, she said, if life is simply a form of energy and has to be guided and directed in man's body by his intelligence, how do you communicate intelligence? And she said, you do that by thinking and by talking. So from that moment on, she began to tell her body, not that it was sick. She began to tell her body a different story. She spoke words of love. She spoke words of gratitude. And she even asked her body to forgive it for the years she had spent telling it how sickly it was. She also started watching her everyday words. So in addition to this time when she would sit and thank her lungs for operating perfectly and tell them how wonderful they were, she started focusing on her thoughts and speech to make sure that all her thoughts, or as many as we can control, because there's a lot of them, that these thoughts and her speech that followed these thoughts were kind and loving and true. And the result for Myrtle was, within 2 years, she was cured of her tuberculosis. And this was something that was noticed by others. And other people would come to her, and they too would experience healing as she shared this process of affirmative prayer, of speaking kind, loving, true words to your body. Now, Charles, her husband, did not have an aha moment. And he saw what was going on with Myrtle, and he saw what was going on with other people who came to her. And he said, although he was a chronic invalid and seldom free from pain, the doctrine did not at first appeal to me. So at first, Charles was like, you know, I'm a practical guy, and I see my wife healing. I see others healed, but I want to know why. He read books. He took courses. He studied with Joseph Adams, who had a magazine at the time called The Truth Gleaner. He studied with Emma Curtis Hopkins. He's studied every ism that there is, Buddhism and so forth and so on. But what he was troubled by was that there were differences of opinions within each of these. So he wondered, well, who's right? I'm a practical guy. Who's right? But what he noticed was that all the teachers, all the writers, everything he was reading, everything he was hearing, everything he was learning from all these courses he was taking, they all talked about an omnipotent, omniscient God who is spirit and accessible to everyone. So Charles decided he was going to go to headquarters. That if he was spirit and God was spirit, there must be a way to communicate. And he took a cold, calculating business method to prove God to himself. He made an appointment to sit in the silence every night at a certain time. This was his business way of doing it. Not leaving anything to chance, no, not, oh, I'll do that 5 minutes before I go to bed. He had a specific time every night when he would go into the silence. And he held that as an appointment. And just as a little side note, I do want to say that in unity, when we talk about going into the silence, we are not talking about the absence of sound. We are talking about the still space within where we are connected to the divine, where we are connected to one another. And you may use music or the sounds of nature or a chant of some sort to help you reach that spot. But that is what we're talking about, and that is what Charles had an appointment every night to do. And when he would enter into this silence, he would mentally affirm the words that these teachers and courses and so forth that he was taking was telling him to repeat. So these were positive, affirmative words that he was repeating. And this became a habit that he actually enjoyed. He started having exceedingly realistic dreams. He found that there was a wider intelligence that manifested in his sleep. He said, everything that is necessary for me to know has been shown to me. So this is how he reached God headquarters, if you will. And he said, truth is not something learned in books, but something that each individual must finally discover for himself, in himself. So he encouraged everyone to set aside a time of day, a definite time, to repeat truth statements. And you will find your faith will grow and your persistent prayers will succeed. Now, Charles at this point was a businessman. He dealt in real estate. But in this going into the silence, he was led to publish a magazine. Now, everybody thought he was crazy. He had a new baby coming, but this is what he was led to do, to publish a magazine. But he decided that instead of emphasizing doctrine, which causes division, that this magazine would emphasize things that are practical, things that apply to everyday living. And he named this magazine Modern Thought. But that name didn't sit well, and so then he changed it to Christian Science Thought. Well, Mary Baker Eddy had a problem with that name because that was the name she had for her teachings, and if this was not specifically her teachings, then no, you couldn't do that. So then he changed it to just Thought. And then in the spring of 1891, he was sitting in the silence, and what flashed into his mind? The name Unity. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's talk about a flash there, okay. So for almost 150 years, Unity has been a big proponent of affirmative prayer, that when we go into the silence and we speak these words of love and truth and joy and peace, that is what we then experience in our lives. And at that point, they were keeping up with the science of the day. But over 150 years, we have some new things that we can consider. Number one, we now know about neuroplasticity. And this means that the brain rewires itself based on repeated thought and beliefs. So affirmative prayer reinforces positive neural pathways, making the desired outcome feel more attainable. So this is one way that science and affirmative prayer are joining together. We know that by repeating these positive thoughts and beliefs, we make new neural pathways in our brain. We also have something called the reticular activating system. Now, this part of the brain filters information to align with what we focus on. If we affirm positive beliefs, the reticular activating system helps us notice opportunities that support those beliefs. So here again, we're showing science in studying the brain is showing us that when we affirm positive beliefs, we have better than expected outcomes. Affirmative prayer also aligns with cognitive behavioral therapy, principles where replacing negative thoughts with positive affirmations can change emotions and behaviors. There's also the placebo effect, the belief that something will happen can lead to real physiological and psychological effects. So just believing that affirmative prayer works actually contributes to it working. We also see in quantum physics. Now, some interpretation of quantum physics suggests that observation and intention influence our reality. And we see many spiritual traditions believe that thoughts and words emit vibrational frequencies. So speaking affirmations with conviction help align an individual energy with their goals and attracts positive outcomes. There is also epigenetics and biology. Studies suggest that beliefs and emotions can influence gene expression. Positive affirmations and faith-based practices may contribute to reduced stress and improved health. So, at this point, the scientific community does not explicitly validate the metaphysical aspects of affirmative prayer, but many of its principles are supported by psychology, neuroscience, and biology. And I'm here to tell you, affirmative prayer is a powerful tool for personal transformation, motivation, and well-being. And here is what I believe is the reason that science hasn't been able to explicitly validate this. And that is because when we pray and believe is when we receive. And that belief part, that is something that is different for each individual. And a lot depends on, okay, what's happened in my background? Can I believe this is true for me? But when you can pray affirmatively and believe that what you are praying about is yours, and then feel as though you have it right now. This is what we mean when we talk here at Unity about the pen being in your hand. Pray, believing you have it, feel it, and the result is then up to you. Can I believe it? Can I feel it? So right now, your prayer chaplains are busy working on an affirmative prayer workshop. This is going to happen 1 month from today, March 23rd. And it'll be right after the service on that Sunday. There will be food. So I've got sign-up sheets here that I'm going to pass around because we do need to know how much food to order. So if you'll start one here and then one on the other side, thank you. Some of you have also expressed an interest in the book I put together of little prayers. That will also, it's at the printers right now. They tell me it's going to be here by March 23rd, so that will be available that day as well if you would like a copy of that. But this is only part one of Science and Affirmative Prayer. 1 month from today, we're going to get into part two. And I want to read you something here to kind of whet your appetite for what's going to come next month. Now, this is Unity Magazine, an interview with a man named Greg Braden, who is a degreed geologist and has spent decades learning from spiritual leaders in cultures all over the world, and he is known for his expert ability to bridge science and spirituality. And in this interview, he talks about a study in 1991. He said scientists made a discovery that caught them off guard. The study was published in the journal Neurocardiology. Researchers identified approximately 40,000 specialized cells in the human heart that they call sensory neurites essentially brain-like cells located in the heart. So we're going to get into that in part 2 a month from now, as well as I have some personal experiences about how the heart, and speaking directly into the heart with your affirmations, lead to amazing outcomes. And I have some stories I'm going to tell you next month. But for today, I want to leave you with a paraphrase of a Ram Dass quote. And that is, whether it's the first day of the apocalypse or the first day of the golden age, our work is the same. Our work is to set that time aside, to go into the silence every day, to listen to what is ours to do. And then no matter if it's the apocalypse or the golden age, do what is yours to do. When we have the faith to believe that our affirmative prayers show us what to do, it's amazing what you accomplish. So I look forward to all of you being here with me this time next month when we further this discussion, and look forward to having you participate in the affirmative prayer workshop. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Janet. As she stated, thoughts are energy. Let's go out into the world today and make a positive difference. Let's do our own affirmations, but share them with the world. We can make a difference with ourselves and others. Pick a positive statement and let it radiate out. It can be one word, many words, write it out, as well as say it verbally. I encourage you to practice affirmative prayer today. Let's welcome Laura, our prayer chaplain, and the 2 ushers up.
Thank you, Beth. And if you would affirm with me our offering blessing. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, I trust God, and I am grateful.
Gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. Sinking, let me show you what love means, and love can build a bridge between tribes of man. And I would give my heart's desire so that you might see that the first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. And
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
And when we stand together, it's our fine style. We can do anything, anything, if we believe in the power. And
Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine.
yes,
Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? That was so beautiful. What a way to wrap up the day. So if you would, just let's have one little moment of prayer as we're grateful for this time together and for these gifts of time, talent, and treasure. The source of all light and love, as we experience the silence, we tell ourselves a story that aligns with what is kind, what is loving, and what is true. We do what is ours to do. We affirm the highest and best for ourselves, for unity, and we are grateful for all that is. And so it is. Amen. And I'm going to hand this over to Beth for our birthdays, anniversaries, and closing circle.
Yes, let's form our circle and identify birthday folks. All right, we're getting there. Touch shoulders. I know today is Sue Price's birthday, our Zoomer. Are there any other birthdays here today or soon to be? Well, let's sing happy birthday to Sue. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sue. Happy birthday to you. Oh, I can do that.
All right.
Let's share the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God